Okay, Mike, we're gonna start from scratch here. So I'm gonna log out first. So we log back in. Okay. So this is where you have to go: 190.90.24.94 /Winet /. Once you hit that, you're gonna be requested a username and password. For your case, for this test unit, it's gonna be Mike and Mike. Mike and Mike. Okay, and you accept here. Then you only have one meter, which is meter 5. Is this one here. It's going to be today's date because we're only going to see everything that has been done today. Okay, but if you wanted to change earlier information or more information from, so you just have to select it here. Okay, and then you hit search here, and it's going to show you all the reports done today. And you could, if you go, like every 10 minutes reports, you're going to have more than 25 reports, and just have set up here 25 records per page. So if you have 25 records per page here, and if you have 50 reports, then you're going to have 2 pages here, and you move between pages here. If you want to see all the reports in one page, then you have 50 reports, then you put here 50 reports. Right now we have 15 reports today. You can scroll down and see everything that you have here. You have you have ID read, which is just a counter of reports being received. The next one would be the 6627 and so on. Reading date and time. Client is who the customer is. In this case it's Mike. But if you don't want to see this column here because you don't care about it, that's not what you want to see, then you click here, go to columns, and then you select what you want to see and what you don't want to see. You don't want to see client. Okay, you see. Also, you only have 1 meter, so you don't want to see the meter. If you had 10 meters, then it's going to show you all the meters here. Okay. In this case, you don't have. You just have 1, so I don't want to see it. Okay. Okay. Then this is voltage and the current depth of the pond level or tank level, whatever. And I'm going to show you later how this is calculated. Okay. This is the pump status, if it's on or off at the moment of the report. Pulse counter, it's the volume. It could be barrels, it could be cubic meters, whatever. And we can modify this so you can, instead of pulse counter, you can have totalizer or whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then barrels, if you want to specify that. This is the temperature of the unit itself, inside the unit. It can go up to 120, 130, depends on the, if it's at the sun and it's a sunny day and very hot, it can go up to 120 inside the unit. Okay, these are analog inputs. Analog input 0, analog input 1, analog input 2, analog input 3, digital input 0, the status, digital input 1. Those can be, let's say, valve status or pump on, or pump, you already have these here, but you can detect any on or off on digital inputs. Okay, so you have 3 digital inputs. Okay, and then you have digital outputs. You have digital outputs, which you also have 3 digital output: 0, 1, and 2. Okay, you can't go any farther from here just because I haven't set up the unit with Modbus registers. If it happened that the unit it's reading Modbus registers and is not, then if you, let's say, you program 1 or 5 Modbus registers, they are going to show here to the right. Okay, and you can rename those to whatever it is on the meter. Let's say total volume or flow rate or units or anything that you want. You will be able to have them here to the right, up to 15 Modbus registers. Okay. Now, in order to save energy, in order to save data over the air, we can configure the unit. Let's say you're only going to have one analog 0 enabled because you're only going to see a pressure, but you're not going to use analog input 1 or 2 or 3 on the unit. We're going to see that later with the device manager. You can configure the unit to only read analog input 0 and is not going to read everything else because you don't have nothing connected there. So you disable these 3, and once you disable those on the unit, those are going to disappear from here. So you're not going to be able to see, just the same as with the Modbus registers, which I don't have any Modbus register here. That's because I don't have those enabled on my remote unit. So the same thing applies for the digital inputs and outputs. If you don't have those, you disable those on the unit and they are not going to show here. So it's only going to show whatever you have in the remote unit. Still you can see them here or not. Okay, you still can hide them. But if you don't want the unit to send over the air analog input 1, 2, and 3, since you're not using those, then you disable those in the unit, and that information is not going to be sent through the air. This is more important when you use satellite networks, because every single byte costs you. Okay, so when you're doing 3G, it's not that costly, but using satellite, it's going to cost you more if you send this information if you don't have nothing there. So that's why we set up that. Also, reading analog inputs and digital, so that takes more time, and more time means more energy, and we want to save as much energy as we can. So that's how it works here. And now you have all these columns here. You can have them in a real time, in a trending graphic. By default, all of them are enabled. Okay, so if you just click on them, you're not going to see those. Okay, so let's start over here and disable all of them and start one by one, so you can see those. Let's say someone wants to see how the depth of the pond is, or tank, whatever. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's for rate, volume, supply volt. This is voltage. Okay, only. If I want to see current depth here, this is how it has been monitored. Okay, and also flow rate, sometimes on, sometimes off. Though that's why you should see this type of graphics. So you can choose here what you want to see. Okay, and all that you see here, it's because it's here. Okay, if you choose a longer, let's say here, one more day, 10, you're gonna see lots of information there. Let's wait and see how many data points we have here. You got 26 now, so those same 26 are going to be here, okay? And you have 2 pages, as I told you before, okay? So if you want to go to page 2, then you hit here, or you can just say what page. If you have 50 pages, then you go to whatever page you want. Okay, now let's get back to just one day today, and right now I'm going to show you how the current let's see here, I don't see it. Let's see, maybe it's hiding columns and reading date, client, mirror, location, current barrels. That's the one I want to see here. Current barrels. Okay, current barrels. How is that calculated? Okay, so that depends on every meter. So you go here to configurations. No, excuse me. You go here to meter, because it's the meter, the one that you have. We only have this meter. I'm gonna. Okay. If it had Modbus, then you can set up the Modbus here. Okay, you can change it. Modbus ID 1, which is default, and it's good for everyone. The meter name. If you change the meter name here, it's going to change on meter readings. You can change whatever you want here.